Are you working? What kind of work do you do? What is it you want to do when you grow up?
Hey yo, I'm gonna be on TikTok. That's all my eyes can see. Victory is mine.
Alright, welcome to another edition of Who's That DJ. I am JSG, your host, and you know I've gone around the country talking to different DJs in and around the country, figuring out who they are, what they do, how they do it, etc., etc. So this week's guests, another long-time friend of mine, known him for a little while, and is also the brother of Godfather who we had on a few weeks back. So we got the man like Stixy D. What's happening, brother? Good?
Good to be here, man.
Yeah, pleasure. So normally how we start the show is we get the DJs to talk about themselves, their DJ journey, and how they got to where they got now. So take it away.
Well, obviously, as you know, you interviewed my brother. Shout out to him. So naturally, obviously it's him, and then as he would have said, our dad as well. He had like his own sound system, and him and my uncle.
Yeah.
They used to go and do like blues parties, and they used to do sound crashes and stuff like that. So that was obviously long before we was born. Then my brother, I started to learn when I was about 8 years old. I started to learn how to mix properly.
Okay.
I learned on the, remember Argos used to be able to get the all-in-one. It's called home mix.
Yeah.
The pitch used to go horizontal. So I learned on that because this was during the times when he had just started his career.
Okay.
Like in terms of being on the circuit, and vinyl had kind of just made its way out.
Yeah. And
he obviously more or less recently just come back to London from uni.
Okay.
So he didn't have his vinyls with him. Yeah. So he was obviously collecting CDs during this time. So he kind of went straight into playing CDs.
Yeah.
So hence why obviously I learned on that, but it started off with me kind of just jumping on while he was at work.
Right.
Just
Okay.
saying, right, let me see if I can figure this out. And then if I knew he was coming home, but I hear his key in the door, I'll be like, oh shit. Obviously I didn't think that, technically I weren't allowed. And then he kind of clocked on like, okay, no, he's obviously eager to learn.
Yeah.
And then I used to do little things for him, like when he used to do record, back then he used to record demo tapes and send them to promoters and stuff like that. So I used to intro them and outro them for him with my little 8-9-year-old voice. And but then obviously so he taught me on that. I learned on that, and then I kind of just went from there really. That's kind of the origins. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what are you up to these days in terms of so obviously I'm getting you learned on things, but what are you up to of recent that you can say?
So I've come quite a long way, to be honest. So nowadays it's just let's focusing on obviously the DJ, and I produce as well. I've got my own label, Hot Cross Fun. So I put tracks out on that. Throw parties as well. I've got one coming up on the 22nd of July, ATD. That's at Floripa in Shoreditch. Quick plug. Okay. Just mainly focusing. I'm always kind of, the DJing is always first. As much as I feel like obviously I'm good. I still always make sure that is the main craft. Whenever anyone asks me, I don't say I'm a producer / DJ, or I'm a DJ first, producer, and promoting everything else second. I don't even like to say I'm a promoter. I don't really like using that term. I put on parties here and there. Yeah. But DJing is always the main focus. So literally just that, bro. Just bookings and putting tunes out and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, just keeping busy, man.
Cool. So I mean, on the circuit at the moment, obviously you're known for mainly house and garage. But I'm guessing you are quite fortunate. Do you mix other stuff as well, or do you mainly focus?
No, I'm a house and garage DJ. But when I learned how to mix, I learned playing R&B and hip hop. Okay. That's what I learned to play. And other than obviously playing house and garage, when I'm listening to music, or when I'm my collection of my CD collection, or my actual music on my hard drive, I've got everything. At heart, I'm a yardie, so I've got ragga for days. Yeah, I've got a lot of 90s ragga. So my brother tells me all the time, flipping yardie. So
Fair enough.
I can't help it, man. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm a house and garage DJ solely. Yeah. I don't-
Okay. So just explain the shift, obviously learning from R&B to going over to specifically house and
Playing
garage
house.
for you.
So that kind of came about with my earliest memory of kind of coming across. Well, yeah, my earliest memory of coming across it would have been garage. Would have been it's gonna sound cliche, but like listening to like my brothers having like recording tapes and stuff like that. So they used to listen to, off the top of my head, they used to listen to Magic FM a lot.
Yeah.
90.2. And a friend of ours, DJ Reaper, I thought I'd make sure I mention him, like legend, like he's very, very prominent in my career. And to him and my brother, I owe a lot just for me as a DJ.
Okay.
So yeah, they used to listen to like Reaper, Supreme Team, Pressure, Starkey, and Swirly. So yeah, like 90.2. What else did they used to listen to? Delight FM, Fat FM, Upfront.
Yeah.
Loads of stations, but that's my earliest memory of them obviously having like recording garage sets. But I still wasn't interested in, not that I wasn't interested in garage, I just remember hearing it. In terms of like house and stuff, I remember, you know, it would have been like early 2000s, so I would have been in primary school. There was a mixed compilation that came out, Euphoria, I believe it was called. And it was like kind of trance and techno music. But for some reason, I really liked the advert. When it used to come on, I used to like it. And when I look back now, I think, right, that was technically my first entry into, I like this stuff. And then the kind of first initial, right, now I need to start playing house was Super D brought out, he brought out mix CD, called, I believe it was called The Art of House. I think that's what it was called. It had like a white, I remember the cover, like a white background and like a blue, like a woman on it posing. It's like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a trippy kind of artwork.
Okay.
And it had like Kieran Nichols traveling.
All right.
Those kind of tunes like the early like 2006 to 7, 2005 to 7 stuff. That kind of era. And I remember hearing that and going, right, I need to find all of these tunes. And yeah, I need to start mixing these tunes for myself. And before all of that, it would have just been, like I said, listening to R&B and hip hop really, and garage here and there. So it was, technically Super D's, that CD was kind of the reason why I was like, right, I need to find all of these tunes. I don't even know if Super knows that, but Super, if you don't know.
So I think, no, I appreciate that. I think, like, again, I wasn't into house until I heard like Just Funk by what's the DJ's name now? Iron Man.
Okay.
And when I heard their tune, it was similar, same sort of era, and I was like, right, okay, now I need to investigate the house scene to see what it is, and then kind of work my way backwards. So now I do play house, but I wouldn't say I'm a house DJ.
You just have it.
I just have it there in the clutch when it's ready.
Okay.
All right, cool. So moving on slightly. So as in your time, obviously making your own name as a DJ and like building your name up in the scene. What you say have you noticed about the DJ scene overall, good and bad?
I suppose I can start with the bad first.
Okay.
Just, I suppose, the usual stuff, you know, like the little like industry politics, egos and stuff like that. Obviously, we had a slight conversation about it off camera. Like those kind of things. And I think this is something, it's not necessarily, well, it kind of is bad, but it's like a grey area. DJs not kind of mastering their craft or not kind of putting in the effort to, you know, like, especially where my scene is concerned, where house and garage DJs are concerned across the board. It's like they don't believe in a warm-up set. Like you can just play what you want just because it's house and all, but like, no, it don't work like that. Like you're playing, like let's say you're doing a garage set, for example, or it's a garage rave. If you're the first garage DJ, you're not gonna play like, for argument's sake, Flowers Sweet Like Chocolate and Boo at
right.
You're not gonna do that. And I think a lot of DJs don't really understand the importance of warming up in across the board, whatever genre you play. Is very important. And you know, learning how to mix properly. Like when it comes to, again, I can only speak for being a house and garage. I can speak for all DJs, but house and garage mainly is that, like, mixing is very important. Like it's not something to it's not something to be taken lightly.
Yeah.
Just to, all right, yeah, cool. I'm just going to focus on selecting. Of course, selecting is very important, but
Mm.
at the end of the day, like you need to know how to mix, and it's very, very important. I feel.
Mhm.
And in terms of the good stuff, I just think the way the scenes kind of evolve and people always wanting to get involved.
Mhm.
Like there's always a new DJ.
Yeah.
Like always. And just, you know, the music kind of getting bigger and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think that's the main component for me. That's the good thing. The fact that the scene always evolves. There's never really anything that's stagnant.
Okay.
Where house and garage is concerned, it does
Yeah.
always evolve.
Cool. Just quickly, on the point of you saying that DJs learn how to mix properly.
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean, but I mean, just to give it clarity's sake, in terms of, do you think that a lot of DJs aren't really counting their music properly when they're mixing? I like trying to mix vocals over the top of each other.
Yeah.
or
When I say
just-
so sorry, I should have been more clear. So when I
Mm.
say mixing, yeah, like
Mm.
so. There's the fundamentals in it, like not mixing vocals over vocals.
Mm.
And also I'm a person where I believe that you can't, there's certain tunes go together.
Yeah.
You don't just find two random tracks and put them together just because they're the same tempo. Like they have to make sense.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise it just sounds stupid.
Mm.
And also just, you know, even if, like for me, like I'm a person where also, even if you haven't got the correct two tracks together,
Mhm.
I can always sense a DJ and their kind of their ability to mix as
Right.
long as it's tight.
Mhm.
You know, if mixes are tight, I'm like, okay, the two tunes don't work, but you obviously can mix because it's
Yeah,
tight. I can hear it.
Mhm.
And that's obviously something to work from. But when like they're, you know, it's just sloppy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just for me, especially if you've been around a certain time,
Mm.
like there's something you're supposed to kind of
Yeah,
like
you should
master.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I think I definitely agree. I hear it quite a lot, more so on, I wouldn't say, more so on radio at the moment, like pirate stations.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, where you've got the DJs, you know, you can hear the difference between a DJ who's been there for a while.
Yeah.
And may not necessarily, they'll be mixing, but you know it's not their strongest
Yeah.
suit or their strongest suit, I'm not cards, but their strongest genre of music.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they know how to mix songs, but it's like you're mixing something that really go together.
Well, yeah,
As
that as
opposed
well.
to-
Like studying the genre as well, kind of knowing what tracks go
Yeah.
together and knowing, you know, where the drop is, where the bridge is, where the bass comes in, where there's a break, whatever. Just knowing what you just kind of, it's essential really just to know what you're playing.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
hmm
So yeah.
Cool. All right. So quickly, just random question that I just popped into my head.
Yeah.
Talk me through. Obviously, you've been DJing for a little while now. So
Yeah.
what made the transition into becoming a producer? Because I think out of the people that I've interviewed so far, you're the first one that actually produces as well as DJ.
Well, producing kind of came about in school,
Mhm.
really. I used to make like grime beats and stuff in school.
Yeah.
And that was on Cubase. Most schools, that's kind of their industry standard,
Mhm.
I would say. Well, not industry, their standard that they have in their music facilities and that.
Mhm.
And then I kind of stopped for a while, just because I don't think back then, not that I didn't have passion for music, I just didn't have a passion for producing.
Okay.
And then as time went on, and then obviously like I started to get heavily involved into DJing, and the scene I'm in changed and whatever. It's it's like a natural like progression. Just right, let me start producing.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's no really mad story behind it. I just thought, right, I should really start. It's not like I don't know how to. Like
Mhm.
I've got a good ear.
Yeah.
Like I know what sound that I like
Mhm.
and what like what sonics I like to hear and whatever. So yeah, like why not just start producing? Yeah, it was a natural progression, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fine. I think a lot more. I think it's more so in the house scene rather than the others that DJs naturally tend to produce more
yeah.
than like the hip hop and the R&B scene. I think with those you'll get more of the like the exclusive remixes.
Yeah. There's only, to my knowledge,
Mhm.
my boy P Montana, he produces,
Mhm.
which I think is good because I think a lot more R&B and hip hop DJs should produce.
Yeah.
You know, obviously if they're solely involved in DJing, just wanting to DJ, that's fine.
Mhm.
But I think a lot of them do kind of have the like, oh, I'd love to produce, but I think they kind of, there's something that makes them not want to take that step. But I think they should.
Okay,
If
cool.
they did, I reckon.
Yeah. All right. So keeping back on the subject of DJing.
Yeah.
in the event space, obviously you're starting to produce your own events and have
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, for instance, what is it like trying to create an event and like in Shoreditch? Obviously, I know it's quite a popular area for those sorts of events. But what are the challenges you face?
Bro, you know,
Putting on these events.
putting on events is stress, bro. It's like the thing. I've been doing events since like 2011. So me and my brother used to do an event called House Trains.
Yeah.
Did that for a while. But I think he took a lot of that stress back then because I was younger. So
Okay.
the idea was, right, let's put on an event so we've got a platform for you.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, cool, I'm with it. And I used to just promote it, of course, as normal. But he would obviously source the venues.
Yeah.
If they needed a higher fee, it was him that was paying for it.
Right.
Obviously all the promo material and stuff, it was him. So anything that involved like money, it was him that was sorting it. I would fly up or help fly up. Sometimes he just leave me to fly up, like, yeah, do some work.
Right.
But yeah. You gotta, for me, creating an event it's a very, I suppose sometimes you can make a mountain out of a molehill, but for me, I think it should be a really thought about process. You shouldn't just think, right, I'm gonna put on a rave. I've got these to do, I'm just gonna fling them in this club, and yeah, that's it. Like, you should know what DJs you want, what sounds you want to hear on, and you should envision it before it happens.
Right. Yeah.
As cliche as that sounds, really. But obviously there's loads of things. Like with my event now, like, you know, like I've got all the DJs in the WhatsApp group. You put messages in the group, like ask them, like, I need some press shots, for example. They took ages to send me their press shots. There was maybe like 2 or 3 that sent me them straight away. They take long to do that. Then you might put something else in the group that's promo material for them to use. And they take ages to post it and whatever else. So yeah, there's so much stresses. But I think it's more so, barring like with the DJs and that kind of side, it's a lot more with like, you know, the kind of mental side of it. So the anxiety of coming up to the event, I hope it goes well. I don't want it. I'm expecting this amount of people. I hope this amount of people turn up or whatever. Yeah, it's a lot of stress, bro. But at the same time, like, putting on events is fun, and curating lineups is fun, and you know, like I do all my own artwork and stuff like that as well. So I find all that enjoyable. Like, I know what I'm very, very creative, always have been. So if I have an image for a flyer in my head or an event, like, it will come to me, and I like on my laptop, like I've just got ideas of stuff. I'll just think of something to sit there and design it and leave it there. Yeah. So I can kind of reach for something and then I kind of work around it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. That's one thing I may look into eventually, but.
What's that, designing?
No, but more just the whole putting on the events.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for me as a DJ who's been in the scene for so long, I've done a lot of DJing, but not necessarily promoting and putting events on.
Yeah.
I mean, me and a couple of the guys that I'm working with, we run like 2 or 3 events a year, and that's really it. But I'm not the main person behind it. It's someone else, and I'm just kind of the one that's adding events to it. But I think again, it just depends on the person who it is, because some DJs, that's all they're interested in. Yeah, it's just DJing. They don't really want to put on events.
To be fair, I'm kind of like that. I don't necessarily, the stresses of putting on an event, I don't necessarily enjoy it. I'd much rather just be a DJ. But at the same time, I'm a person where, you know, like, it kind of benefits me at the end of the day. It's another platform for myself. It's another opportunity for me to hear DJs that I want to hear. Yeah. Or kind of put an idea that I have into practice and stuff like that. So from that aspect, it's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about a few big events we've got coming up. So obviously you mentioned your event, which is the
22nd July. Yeah,
July.
Sunday, 22nd of July. Yeah. It's a
Okay,
day party.
cool. Yeah, so that's the day party. What's that called again?
ATD.
ATD.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the following week,
the big one.
We've got the big one.
Yeah.
Which we're both DJing at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what's your feelings around that, and you looking forward to that?
Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Last year was sick as well. Obviously, I was on quite a high because I come back from Hideout Festival. I played at Hideout Festival last year, and the day I flew back, I had to go home, get changed, and rush straight to the festival. Yeah, I can't even call it barbecue anymore. yeah, like last year was sick.
Mm.
And yeah, man, I'm just excited. I'm excited to play again. Just
Was last year your first year? Or?
no.
Oh,
I
okay.
played at the barbecue. I think this year will be my 4th year. I think 4th or 5th year.
Yeah.
Because initially when I was going before it got to the scale it was when they would just go, oh, like just bring your stuff, like go on at any time. Obviously, whereas now it's because it's got to a certain stature, there's structure. So yeah, so it might be more than 4. I think it is 4 or 5 years, something like that. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So this year is like my 2nd year of actually DJing.
Okay.
I think I've burned for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I missed like maybe 2.
Yeah.
2 in total.
Yeah.
I think since it's grown to the scale it's got now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You on your main stage or on the house stage?
I am in the house and garage tent. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think my set's an hour before yours, so when I finish my set, I think it'd be time for you to jump on. So
okay.
That's why slide over and have a look.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely, man.
All right, cool. All right, so bringing things back in track a little bit. So obviously, you're at the moment. Obviously, you're DJing, listening to, or you're playing house and garage when you're DJing.
Yeah.
But what is it that you are listening to outside of playing house and garage?
So yeah, as I said to you, like I don't really listen to house and garage. Well, I don't really listen to house that much outside of when I'm playing it. I listen to a lot of. I'm very old at heart, so like I said, obviously, as you know, like my older brother, both my older brothers, they're 40 and 41. So I've had a lot of influence from them. So I listen to a lot of old school stuff. But recently, over the past, you could say, couple of months, IMDb is what I've been listening to.
Yeah.
IMDb, yeah, that is my girl. That's all I've been listening to is IMDb. What else have I been listening to? I'm trying to think. IMDb, Mahalia. Yeah, man, I'm very eclectic with the stuff that I listen to. But IMDb mainly. Let's just keep it at that. We'll be here for ages. I'm trying to think. On the way here, I was listening to IMDb. Put it like that. So
nice.
I listen to it a lot.
All right. So for the people that don't know what type of music is or what type of artist is she?
IMDb. Yeah. She labels her music as urban jazz.
Okay.
That's what she calls it. Which, if you listen to it, have you heard of her before? Listen to her.
I've heard the name. I've heard maybe 1 or 2 songs.
Okay, so like her main songs that she's kind of known for, well, the one that kind of got her a lot of recognition recently is called Pause. But her vibe is just, it's crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, she calls it urban jazz, but it's like a fusion of, it's obviously solely, the core is R&B. Yeah. And then it's like got influences of neo soul, jazz, hip hop, like trap. It's so, her style is just so like that. She don't sound like anyone. But you know what? To kind of describe her, it'd be like if Erykah Badu turned into like a hood UK girl.
Right, okay.
That's the closest I can. I don't even want to label her like that. I don't like labeling artists and linking them to everyone, but that's the best way I can describe it. If Erykah Badu was from Catford, yeah, and she made music. That's what IMDb from Manchester, but that's That's
kind of the vibe again. Yeah, cool. I'm definitely gonna go and see if I can find that.
Bro, you'll be hooked, trust me.
Because I'm still listening to like Fonte's No News Is Good News.
Okay, Little Brother Fonte. Yeah.
It's a great album, and despite all the other music that's come out, like that's still one of my go-to albums in the car.
He's a serious artist, bro. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Keeping it on topic. So, do the challenge I like to do with all the DJs.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, I basically ask the DJ, give the DJ 3 scenarios about 3 random scenarios that I just make up in my head, and ask them to pick a track for each scenario so they can, just kind of get more of a rounded idea of who they are and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So, For you, I'm thinking.
Okay.
All right. So, what is normally the track? All right. So, Max Barbecue.
Yeah.
You're on after. I don't know who you're on after, but let's just say, obviously, it's like second set. You're second DJ in the house too.
Okay.
What's the first tune you most likely think you're gonna pick?
My first tune.
Mm.
Possibly. Oh, that's a difficult one. So second, I'm the second DJ, so that means the tent would open at like, so maybe 3 o'clock.
Mm.
Maybe Jesus Creates Sound by Marlon D.
Okay.
Possibly that. I think that's a good way to start.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then just build it up from there.
Yeah.
Alright, calm. Track or scenario 2 is you've been out on the road all day,
Yeah.
doing bookings, whatever.
Yeah.
What is your? You just finish your bookings, put the headphones in, and roll back to the crib.
Ooh. Probably I'm gonna go with Rescue Me by TJ Moses. I'm gonna go with that.
That's definitely an eclectic choice.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The last scenario now. You much of a gym man?
Much of a
Gym guy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What's the tune you're putting on when you're about to bang out a good set?
That's quite easy. Probably Bloody Money by CNN.
Okay.
Noriega. Yeah. That's because I listen to a lot of Noriega when I'm in the gym anyway. All of his, like his first album. Yeah. Because if you're in the gym and you're listening to bro, you can't go wrong in it. You're just not gonna go wrong. If you do like a bad set and you hear Nori's voice in your ear, you're like, I've got to fix up. Next time. Yeah. That Capone Noriega Bloody Money. I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's a good tune. I still got that album sitting in my CD case.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course,
classic. Oh, saying watch out for Matt's Barbecue.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. All right. Okay. So at this point of the show, I kind of open up the floor for discussion. So it's an open discussion. You can ask me a question. You can give advice to new DJs.
Okay.
You can, I don't know, to pick a particular subject of DJing that really interests you or bothers you when you want to get off your chest. So kind of like the floor is yours to kind of open up and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about.
I don't know where to go with that. What was we talking about earlier when it came to we were talking about like the pros and cons of the industry. And I was talking about like, learning how to mix and stuff.
Yeah, he was talking about cutting music and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that is something, again, like I'll go over again, something I find very, very important. Like, that's one thing that I've always made sure that I've had on point, is being able to, it's just something that, it's probably my brother's fault as well, because he's disciplined me. He's disciplined me a lot in kind of, not even disciplined me, but when he hears certain things that he don't like, it kind of is, as I was growing up, it kind of made me feel like I've got to make sure I can't do that. Yeah. It always kind of kept me on track where that's concerned. But I think that is something that's a kind of a problem at the moment, where there is a lot of DJs out there, they're not like kind of focusing on their craft properly. Okay. Like, like kind of rushing to do a prime time set and not like knowing how to warm up. Okay, like I was saying before. Not just like not enjoying their process. Like
they're trying to almost like they're trying to rush to get to the big status, but without putting in the
there's no like I'm always hungry. Like there's times when, like I've gone through depression and anxiety, and only recently, that was 2 years ago I got diagnosed with that.
Okay.
So, and it was like, mine was quite bad.
Hmm.
So, and that's something I'm not afraid to talk about, but it should be spoken about.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of it comes down to, there's obviously loads of other stuff surrounding it, but a lot of it comes down to like my DJ career, because I'm so hungry and wanna succeed so much.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think that's another thing as well. A lot of DJs, there's not much. They're kind of just in it for the ride. There's no real passion of
Yeah.
So people could be in it for the ride, but if you get thrown into the water, you're gonna be able to swim and get back on the boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a lot of that. There's not enough hunger. I think there's a lot of there's hunger for fame, but not hunger for success, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's
You know
like
what I mean?
they want, as you mentioned earlier, they want the prime time slots.
Yeah.
But it's not, for them, it's like not being known as a good DJ. It's just they want to have good slots.
Yeah, they just want this. Yeah, they don't want the
things.
recognition. Whereas that's something I care about. Like even going to Hideout last year with my Amazon Dex team. Shout out to them. Big up 125 and big up Trimmer, Blondie.
Yeah.
As sick as that was, and when I came back, everyone was like, "Oh, bro, like Hideout, like you must be so happy." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm happy, but it's only one festival. Like, I want more."
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of people can't understand. Like, what? But you played Hideout, and I'm like, "Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
not the
that's
be all and end all of
yeah,
my
of course.
career. Like, it's just that's one thing ticked off the list. Like, and I want to do, my goal is what there. Let me do Hideout again. Let me do it 2-3 years in a row.
Right.
Like, let me keep going back out there. Or there's other festivals that I want to do and stuff like that. But I think, and obviously, you know, not everyone, as we were saying off camera as well, I can afford to do this full time. Well, I say I can afford to. It's not easy.
No, of course.
To not, you know, to think I'm not going to get a 9 to 5, whatever. And I don't really kill anyone that does. But I'm obviously of a stature where like this is what I want to do and what I have been doing since I was 8 years old.
Right.
I've been DJing officially since I was 14, 15. You know, my first booking at 15.
Yeah.
I was playing in clubs and I wasn't really allowed in them.
Yeah.
Like Tanos and Pleaser, they used to take me, pick up Tanos and Pleaser, my big brothers. They used to take me to a la carte. If you remember that event, it used to happen at Agenda in the city.
That,
They used to squeeze me into Agenda. Luckily, I knew one of the head door women as well. She knows my older brother, so anytime she was on the door, I was good.
Yeah.
But if she wasn't there, they'd have to squeeze me in. Luckily, I had my little moustache back then, so I kind of looked a little bit older. But I'm 16, 17, playing in venues I'm not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's stuff like that I remember. So I've been on my, I suppose you could say, grind for a while, nearly 10 years. You know what I mean? But it doesn't ever get, you know, I'm not sitting there thinking, it's been 10 years, like I'm done with that. I'm like, no, there's more to do, man.
So do you think that the whole people not wanting to enjoy their graft is due to the fact that DJing has become so much easier to get into? Like back in the days, like the only way you could DJ is if you bought vinyl from a record shop and you come home to your 2 turntables and stuff like that. Yeah. But with now, you can just get any controller off the internet, fill up your iTunes library, and then anyone can think they become a DJ.
Yeah, I think it's like a an easy come, easy go thing. But that's the other thing. As much as you said that it's easy for them to start, it's easy for them to stop because there's no grafting what they're doing. When you did, even if you didn't collect vinyl, if you just started purely out of love and passion for music, like it doesn't just stop like that.
No, of course.
You know what I mean? Whereas I think and I think the other thing is as well, when certain people do have 9 to 5s and good 9 to 5s at that, and they can afford certain equipment or whatever. You know, there's DJs out there that have 2000s and they've got their DJM 800 and they've got their KRKs all down there, their proper setup and this, that, and the third. But someone like that probably isn't better than the guy that hasn't got a Dex in his house or has like a pair of 800s and a dead like Newmark mixer. Do you know what I mean? Like that person is probably going to be a much better DJ than the one that's been able to spend all that money.
No, I think I agree.
On what they were doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I'm not going to say I'm the only DJ, but when I was younger growing up, I never had a pair of 1200s.
Yeah.
I had some Sound Labs direct drives. And that, all to this day, I've still got them now, but I never went on to go and get the 1200s. I was happy with what I had. I don't even know my mixer. It was just some push button thing. You had to keep your finger pressed down on the Q button if you wanted to listen to what was mixing. So I think that kind of develops more of a passion because you ain't got the best equipment. You make do what you've got.
You make do with what you have. Exactly.
Yeah, that's decent. So that's good. That's a good thing that obviously you're right in the sense that a lot of people who want to become DJs are doing it for I think C6 or Conspiracy said that they're doing it for the girls or they're doing it
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
prime time slots.
And I
stuff
came
like
across all of that, you know,
Mm.
when I first started in the kind of, how you could say, the house scene. I don't like using the word scene, it's political. But
that. Mhm.
when I started playing, you know, along certain DJs and peers, I'm going to mention their names.
Mhm.
I used to hear that from them all the time, bro. I'm just singing this for the girl. I'm in this for the girl.
Yeah.
I used to think to myself, you're an idiot then, because if you're in this for the girls, then just be a raver.
Yeah.
And do it that way.
Standard.
Like, don't, you know, like mess up the kind of the novelty of being a DJ. Like, it's the sickest job.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Being like, you have direct control over people's emotions.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, direct control. That's something that is sick.
Yeah.
That you're able to play certain tunes in a certain way and make people scream and go crazy and
Yeah.
have a sick night.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? That should be what you want to do, not right. If I play this, I'm gonna get the girl over there in the red. I'm gonna go for her afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
Yeah.
I've been there and seen it all, so
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's all about.
Yeah,
and
man.
I'm like,
yeah,
I like my life too much, so
yeah.
I'll just sit there and do the music
Yeah,
because that's at the end of the day, that's all that really matters.
yeah, of course.
And I mean, like, for myself, I've got a 9 to 5, and I still will quite happily drive 3 hours to go and DJ, come back home and sleep.
Yeah,
and
of course.
go
Because
to
the
work
passion
next
there.
day,
That's
yeah.
why. Yeah,
But I know certain people that
yeah.
will
yeah,
do it. They're just
No.
weekend DJs.
Yeah.
And really, the 9 to 5 is paying them quite well. Or
Yeah.
even if they don't have a 9 to 5, they just want the weekend
Yeah.
slots where they think that's where the good stuff is.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, when you travel a bit, you get to see different people, different nights. You
Yeah.
get to be like, wow, these people really turn up
yeah,
in the week,
yeah.
and they're going hammers as if it was the weekend. So,
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, have you got anything festival-wise planned over the summer months this year?
Not booking wise, but
Mhm.
attending wise, yeah. Like, there's a couple. I do want to try and see if I can get to Lovebox this
Mhm.
weekend,
Okay.
if I can. Don't know how that's gonna work, but yeah. But there's a couple festivals coming up that I do want to get to. But again, yeah, man, it's all part of the goal, and to play all of them, bro. I want to play all of them, and I've got the mindset that I will.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
Okay,
definitely. Yeah.
All right, cool. So going on to the final question, almost. What is it and I think I'm going to start asking this question a bit more often, just to get a better insight. What would you class as a good DJ? What are the signs that you say, yeah, this is a good DJ?
What do I think is a good DJ? Okay, someone who's got an original selection. When I say an original selection,
Mhm.
I mean that. So I don't like. Okay, I'm gonna go into the. No, do you know what? I'm gonna stay in the house and garage world. So, like, I'm gonna use garage as an example, but it's more universal and people know more garage tunes.
Mhm.
I don't like when I'm out, so I'm gonna use Garage Nation as an example. I'm
Okay.
not trying to slander Garage Nation's event or nothing like that.
Mhm.
I went to their 20th birthday, their 20th anniversary at Fabric, right?
Okay.
And I couldn't have been more disappointed in their event in my life.
Mhm.
And the only reason why was because, for me,
Mhm.
if I'm going out to, obviously, of course, unfortunately for me, I wasn't able to go to Coliseum
Okay.
and these
Yeah.
venues to experience Garage Nation when it was Garage Nation. My
Mhm.
brother was.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't. But I did my research and I've done my homework, so I know my history.
Yeah.
For me, at Garage Nation, at the top of the night, it's so easy for you to play Whole Sex, Boo, you know, all the standard tunes. It's easy for you to get a reaction. If I said to my 15-year-old niece, right, we're gonna do a set, I'm gonna put you on at 1:30 to 2:30 at Fabric at Garage Nation. Here's the tunes that she plays. Everyone's gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Because, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a person where I like when DJs, they draw for certain tunes, but they don't necessarily have to be tunes, underground songs. They can be songs that everyone knows, but it's outside the box. It's not.
Yeah, outside the commercial.
Do you know what I mean?
That everyone else plays.
And it will, as much as it might not spark the wow reaction, like, for me, like, I respect that in a DJ, because it means they don't follow suit.
Yeah.
Like, and the best DJs are ones that don't follow suit.
Mhm.
So, you know, someone like EZ, for example,
Yeah.
You know, like Easy didn't follow suit. He was kind of like the first DJ
Mm-hmm.
between him and like Rossi B and Luca. They were the first kind of two that started like, all right, what does this mixer do? Let me see what goes on here, because everyone just brings tunes in and brings them out. Like, oh shit, oh, and it does, all right. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they don't follow suit. I
creative.
respect that in a DJ for one. Again, obviously, like I said, mixing the videos. I spoke about EZ, and earlier again, I'm going to mention him again, Reaper. I learned how to play vinyl on radio. I taught myself, but that came from me watching Reaper. Like I've never seen a garage DJ mix so quick on vinyl. Like, and he, like, just his technical ability alone and the mechanics of what he's doing, like you can tell, like he spent so much time. Obviously, he used to be on Magic FM, so he would have spent so much time on radio and just like doing, you know, like graveyard shifts and so much hours putting into what they're doing. So I really respect original selection and like proper technical mixing. Don't necessarily have to, you know, I don't always want to hear like a chop or you tapping the cue button every 5 minutes, but just like I said, two tunes going together and sounding a certain way, mixes being held and just, you know what I mean? Like that's what I really respect about a DJ. Just someone who, they don't like to follow suit. I don't always, you know, it's too easy. It's easy to do that. We can all do it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, they're the main two things: just original selection and that proper mixing ability. They're the main two things I would say I respect.
Cool. Yeah, it's definitely. No, it's definitely good. There's definitely good points, and I agree. No, I agree to a certain extent. Yeah, I agree. All right, cool. So, lastly, where can people follow you online, get in touch with you, all those sorts of good things?
Yeah. So online is at Stixy_D for most things. So Twitter and Instagram is at Stixy_D. SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Stixy-D. And my new radio show as well, on Flex FM. My first show will be on the 18th of July. So if anyone doesn't know Flex FM, they'll pirate it just for legal. So they're the third pirate station to go legal ever, basically, in the country. Yeah, Kiss, Rinse, and then now Flex.
Right, yeah.
So flexfm.co.uk, Flex FM 101.4 on the dials on. So I'll be the third Wednesday out of the month from 4 p.m. till 6 p.m.
Okay.
So that starts on the 18th of July. So yeah, you can check that out. And yeah, man, just follow me. Like I said, at Stixy_D, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as well. Find me, Aaron Stixy Murdoch. Yeah, man, I'm friendly, I'm accessible, I'm here, man. Yeah.
Cool. So as always, I'll be leaving all those links in the description below the video and on the podcast details as well. So yeah, man, make sure you guys give him a follow. Right, thanks for being on the show, brother. It's been much appreciated.
Thanks for having me, man.
No problem at all.
Appreciate it, man.
Until next time, peace out. I've been JSG. He's been Stixy D. Peace.